Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yeji, like yay G, and my channel is all about saving money while traveling because let's be real, traveling can get really expensive. So if you don't have to spend any money, why would you, right? And if that sounds interesting to you, let's be internet besties and consider subscribing below, and let's get into today's video. So today I wanted to talk about two credit cards that have the exact same annual fee and compare them against one another. And these cards are the Citi Strata Premier and the Wells Fargo Autograph Journey. But before you get into the credit cards, I wanted to mention that I won't be talking about the welcome bonuses today because they always change. And so by the time you watch the video, it most likely would have changed from when I'm filming the video. So there's no need to talk about it. But I do think it's important to talk about application rules. So Citi has a 48-month rule, which basically means that you can't get a welcome bonus if you have the same card or have received a welcome bonus within 48 months. So essentially, if you want the Citi Strata Premier card, you get it and you don't want it anymore and you downgrade it, you have to wait 48 months from when you downgraded to get a new welcome bonus. Citi also has a rule where you can only open up one card every 8 days and a maximum of 2 cards within a 65-day period, and this includes both personal and business cards. And they're also pretty strict about inquiries. So if you've had 6 inquiries, which is like a hard pull on your credit, within the last 6 months, they'll deny you. So Citi is pretty strict about opening up new applications. Wells Fargo also has application rules, and they say that you can't open up more than one card in a 6-month period, which I think is excessive because if you're credit card hunting, then of course you want to open up multiple cards, but you can only open up one every 6 months. And they also have something similar to Chase, which is 524, which means if you've had 5 credit cards open within a 24-month period, then they'll also automatically deny you. And similar to Citi, Wells Fargo will also deny you receiving a welcome bonus if you've had the card or downgraded the card and received a welcome bonus on the same card within a 48-month period. So if you want 2 of the same cards and you downgrade one, then you gotta wait 48 months. Now, all of that out of the way, let's get into the credit cards, and I'll start with Citi. Citi Strata Premier has an annual fee of $95. It gives you 10x on hotels, car rentals, and attractions booked on citytravel.com. It gives you 3x on air travel and other hotel purchases. It gives you 3x at restaurants, 3x at supermarkets, 3x on gas and EV charging stations, and 1x on all other purchases. It also gives you a $100 annual hotel benefit, where once per calendar year, if you book a hotel worth $500 or more on citytravel.com, then you'll get $100 off that hotel stay. The Wells Fargo Autograph Journey also has an annual fee of $95, and this card gives you 5x on hotels, 4x on airlines, 3x on restaurants and other travel related purchases, and 1x on all other purchases. And if you book $50 worth of airline purchase, they will refund you a statement credit of $50, and this is annually. And both cards also give you a little bit of protection and insurance regarding travel, but those are little minor details that I won't get into because I feel like not many people actually use these benefits, and we'll just concentrate more on the multipliers. And because both of these cards are travel cards, they don't have any foreign transaction fees, which is really nice. So when you compare the multipliers, I feel like Citi has a little bit more advantage just because it gives you 10x on hotels and car rentals and such, whereas Wells Fargo only gives you 5x on hotels, and they don't have any multipliers when it comes to like attractions, and 10x actually adds up quite a bit. And so in that sense, if you're gonna book hotel through a third party, which essentially like Citi or Wells Fargo have their own like travel platform, right? These portals are technically third party, but if you're gonna book third party, then go with Citi. And this is assuming that you're not loyal to any brand and you don't have any hotel cards. If you do, I think booking through the hotel loyalty program and their card is honestly better than the bank cards, to be honest, when it comes to hotels. But you know, 10x actually, it's really hard to beat at the same time. So Citi, I think, did a really good job with offering 10x on hotels. Now, when it comes to air travel, Wells Fargo is better because they give you 4x on flights, whereas Citi, you only get 3x. So you need to think about how much are you spending on air travel per year. Is the one extra point essentially worth it to go with Wells Fargo compared to Citi. Air travel can get pretty expensive as well, especially if you're traveling internationally, you know? And so having that extra point of like 4x might be better for those people that book a lot of flights. And the nice thing about both of these credit cards is that you don't have to necessarily book directly with the airline or also directly with their platforms. You can book it at any platform as long as it categorizes as air travel. So for instance, you don't have to book at cititravel.com to get the 3x. You can book through Expedia and get the same 3x. And I like that they give you that option and not only book directly with their travel platform, you know? When it comes to restaurants, however, I think they're both tied because you both get 3x, but Citi has the upper hand when you think about like supermarket purchases. So the Citi card can also work for like your everyday type card to put your grocery spend on it, whereas Wells Fargo doesn't have a supermarket category, and so it's like more of a travel card versus like an everyday card as well. Because remember, Citi also gives you 3x on gas and also at EV charging stations. So it can be an everyday card for a lot of people. I mean, most people make purchases on gas or charging and also like groceries, right? So I really like that Citi is well-rounded. However, the one thing I like about Wells Fargo is that they also give you 3x on like general travel. And other than the Amex Green Card, it's really hard to find a card that gives you like a broad category when it comes to just travel. Chase Sapphire Reserve used to have it, but they got rid of it. And Wells Fargo Travel is actually pretty broad if you look at the fine print. So it can be anything from like timeshare purchases to like car rentals to like cruises, travel agencies, any like travel website. So it's not necessarily like trains or commute type of travel. It's more actually like travel where you will need to do like a tour package or something like that when you're actually traveling, you know? So if you book a tour, let's say on Viator.com, that will code as travel because Viator is considered a discounted travel site, for instance. So I like that how broad the category of travel is with Wells Fargo. And when it comes to all other purchases, they both give you 1x, which I always say 1x is better than nothing because there are cards out there that don't give you anything, even if it's all other purchases. So it's always nice to at least get something out of it, you know? Now, the tiny bit of a difference between Citi and Wells Fargo is that Citi will give you $100 back if you spend $500 on a hotel stay, and that has to be booked within their Citi portal. So if you spend $500 on a hotel with Citi, you already get 10x, you know, from booking that hotel stay. And if it's more than $500, you'll get $100 back. So essentially, if you're able to take advantage of this credit, you'll be netting $5, right? Because your annual fee is $95. So, I mean, if you look at it that way, then Citi is like totally worth it. However, if you're not able to take advantage of the hotel credit, then I feel like is $95 worth it to you? Wells Fargo, on the other hand, only gives you $50 back on statement credits. So if you're able to book a flight worth more than $50, which I'm assuming you can because flights cost more than $50 in most cases, and I think for most people you can take advantage of it, then you automatically get the $50. But even if you deduct the $50 from the annual fee, you still are left with $45 on the annual fee. So is the Wells Fargo card worth keeping? And once again, you got to look at the multipliers and see, are the multipliers that Wells Fargo is giving you worth $45 to you every year? I think ultimately it comes down to transfer partners because we're trying to earn a bunch of credit card points so that we can transfer them out to different airlines, right? Because you can get more value that way versus directly booking on like the Citi platform or the Wells Fargo travel platform and redeeming points that way. I feel like value-wise, it's better to transfer the points out. So if you are going to be transferring points out, you need to look at the transfer partners and see which transfer partner is aligned with your travel pattern. So for instance, both Citi and Wells Fargo is partnered with Air France and KLM. So if you frequent those two airlines, then great, you can go either way, right? But let's say you prefer British Airways. Well, Citi's not partnered with British Airways, only Wells Fargo is. So in that case, is Citi really worth it for you because you're not able to transfer your points to British Airways? Same thing with Emirates. Let's say you love flying Emirates. I mean, I do too, right? Their planes are amazing, but Citi's the only transfer partner. Then you're stuck with Citi because Wells Fargo is not a transfer partner of Emirates. Same thing goes with hotels. Both Citi and Wells Fargo is partnered with Choice Hotels, but only Citi is partnered with Wyndham and Accor. So if you frequent Wyndham or like Ramada or something like that, right, then you really need to go with Citi because Wells Fargo doesn't give you that option. Now, this is just me in my opinion because your mileage may vary, but I'm more of Team Citi than Team Wells Fargo because of the multipliers that the card gives you, but also like other cards within the Citi like card portfolio that you can pick up from, like Citi Double Cash, where it gives you 2x on everything, and so on and so forth. Whereas I feel like Wells Fargo doesn't really have a strong like surrounding cards to kind of support the autograph journey card. Just my opinion. So I feel like in that sense, Citi wins. But I feel like when it comes to the annual fee being lowered, Wells Fargo does a better job. I know you can get $100 off $500 of hotel stay, but I'm not someone that books hotels through the Citi portal. I would much rather book directly with the hotel using like a hotel credit card. So I don't really take advantage of the $100. Also, like you have to stay $500 worth of like a hotel stay, right? And $500, I feel like I can get a lot more points than 10x if I book with a hotel brand that I'm loyal with. So with Citi, I will need to pay the $95 annually just to keep the card. And we do have the Citi card and we do pay the annual fee every year. Whereas the Wells Fargo card, $50 on a flight and getting refunded is like a no-brainer. Like I feel like 100% people can take advantage of it. And so essentially your annual fee will be $45. And so if you compare it that way, then Citi is a lot more expensive to keep the card around versus Wells Fargo. So if your goal is to have a bunch of other cards within that bank, then I think Citi is better. But if you're comparing like one-on-one, like just the Citi Strata Premier to just the Wells Fargo autograph journey, then I feel like the autograph card wins in that sense because the annual fee is lower to $45. Now, this is me speculating that you get benefits out of the multipliers. But like I said, your mileage may vary and you might disagree with me. And let me know, are you Team Citi or Team Wells Fargo? Because this is an interesting one since they both have the same annual fee but slightly different multipliers. So I'm actually curious. But anyway, I hope today's video was insightful and helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll talk to you guys again with a new video. Bye!